criticized by the Philadelphia Inquirer and others heavily for not taxing the gas drilling, natural gas drilling. As you know, we're in the midst of a boom up here in Luzerne County. What was the reason for that, and what impact, if any, do you think the 138 layoffs at EPA will have on
Well, none.
monitoring that?
We do charge fees on all of the shale drillers, and those fees pay for the inspectors. So it's totally offline on budget. So the 138 people who are being laid off have nothing to do with inspecting the shale drilling. The shale drilling inspectors all come from the fees we charge them.
Okay, but that would have been an income opportunity for the state to tax
Sure.
natural gas.
And I've said that I want to tax that the next year. And the reason I want to tax it next year and not this year is because, we are hurtling towards this new opportunity. Gas prices, as you know, are at a 7-year low. The market for natural gas is reduced. There is still drilling going on. The permits are still being applied for, but at a much slower rate, number one. Number two, we're not sure exactly how best to tax it. And I was convinced that we want to get the maximum number of companies into Pennsylvania as possible. And I was convinced that to do that, we needed to delay the tax for at least 1 year, and that's what I said in my when I addressed the legislature, that I want to tax that for next year. I think we should tax it, but I think we need to know what we're doing. And we've started a task force with industry representatives, with people from DEP, to figure out what the best way to tax it is and what the best way to go forward. Look, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. We were criticized by environmentalists, notwithstanding, I think, a great environmental record, for leasing state land to the drillers, even though that's a very productive way for the state to get money. And even though the drilling process is not nearly as disruptive as the environmentalists would have you believe, but there's really a technological advent that's going to be very helpful. There are companies now, and we've signed on with one. We don't pay them; they get their money out of increased sales. That do geological mapping. It's like a GPS to find out where the biggest shale concentrations are. Because of that, we're going to be able to lease fewer acres of state land, but get a higher price, because we know, and the drillers will know, that the land we're leasing is the land where they'll get the most return on their investment, the most productive parts of the shale. So it's a business in its infancy, and I think we needed to go a little slow and put a little thought in before we tax. By the way, taxing this year because of the drop in gas prices would have only produced about $30 million. And remember, because of the budget delay, we would have only been able to tax January 1st, so we'd have only gotten a half a year out of it anyway.